welcome to Intermediate Guitar Chapter 5. Okay, we're going to keep on exploring our bar chords. Today we're going to talk about E major and E minor bar chord. These will be both based off of our 5th string on the 7th fret. And these are going to be similar shapes that we've done in previous chapters for D major, D minor, and C major and C minor bar chords. We're just going to base them off of our 7th fret. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on in with E major bar chord. With your index finger, go to your 7th fret on the 5th string. And then with your ring finger, we're going to flatten out and bar our 9th frets on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Couple muting notes, make contact, and you can mute your low 6th string with your index finger. Now we're also in the key of E, so if you want, you can have your open E string ringing. That'll sound really good too. And if you don't want that low string, just make contact and you can mute that note. And on your 1st string, as we're arching out of that bar chord, make contact with your ring finger and you'll mute the 1st string. So there's your E major bar chord. Okay, now as bar chords can be challenging, I'm going to give you a couple mini versions of these chords too. Let's start off with E mini number 1. With your ring finger, go to your 9th fret 3rd string. Pinky goes to the 9th fret 2nd string. Index gets the 7th fret on the 1st string. And it's just a 3-note chord. It's a triad, major triad. And then for these mini chords, try to avoid the other strings that we're not pressing on with our fretting fingers. Okay, now for E mini number 2, just add your middle finger to the 9th fret 4th string. And then again, I've got my ring on the 9th fret 3rd string, pinky's on the 9th fret 2nd string, index is on the 7th fret 1st string. And that's your E mini number 2. Okay, now for your E minor bar chord, let's go ahead and start off with the power chord shape. We're going to have our index finger again on the 7th fret 5th string. With your ring finger, go to the 9th fret 4th string. Pinky goes to the 9th fret 3rd string. Middle finger goes to the 8th fret 2nd string. And then bar to get the 7th fret on the 1st string with your index finger. And make that contact if you want, and you can mute your low 6th string, but you could also have it ringing since we're in the key of E. That'll sound really good too. Okay, now I'm going to give you a couple mini versions for our minor chord. For the first one, E minor mini number 1, go to your ring finger, 9th fret 3rd string, middle's on the 8th fret 2nd string, and then index is on the 7th fret 1st string. There's E minor mini number 1. For E minor mini number 2, swap your pinky where your ring was and move your ring finger now to the 9th fret 4th string. Pinky's on the 9th fret 3rd string, middle's on the 8th fret 2nd string, and then index is on the 7th fret 1st string. And that's E minor mini number 2. This chapter's strum pattern is going to feature some 8th notes and 16th notes. When you see a box without a bottom, that's a down strum, and an arrow pointing down is an up strum. Okay, we're going to have 8th notes for beats 1 and 2. You could just do 2 down strums. For beats 3 and 4, we'll have 16th notes, and you could do a down, up for each beat. Okay, now here's the pattern without a chord. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll just be playing all these one time, but I recommend to repeat these each 8 to 12 times and check out some different tempos, slow, medium, and fast. Okay, grab your E major bar chord and let's go 4 bars with that pattern for number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. Recommend to incorporate a metronome. I'm going to have my click at 60 beats a minute, and here's number 1 with a click. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. For number 2, we're going to go 4 bars of an E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. faster. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. For number 3, we're going to do an 8-bar progression. We'll go 4 bars of E major into 4 bars of E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. For number 4, we'll go 2 bars of E major into 2 bars of E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. For number 5, we'll go 1 bar of E major into 1 bar of E minor, and then repeat that again for bars 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, for number 6, we're going to start to incorporate some chords from previous chapters. For number 6, we're going to include a D major, and I'm going to be doing a D major bar chord. For D major bar chord, same shape we're doing for E, just based off of your 5th fret. So index is on your 5th fret on the 5th string, and then we're going to bar our ring on the 7th frets on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. And then again, make contact with your low 6th string to mute it, arch up out of your bar chord with your ring to mute the 1st string. Okay, now if your bar chords still aren't happening, check out the mini chords, or you could just do open position D major. Okay, now for number 6, we're going to start to include some different rhythms from previous chapters too. So for the first bar, we're just going to have a whole note rest. We won't play anything for 4 beats. Have our normal pattern on bar 2. We'll switch to a D major. We'll do a whole note on bar 3. That'll be a chord that lasts for 4 beats. And then normal pattern, staying on that D major for the 4th bar. Okay, here comes number 6. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a, rest. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go to number 7. For number 7, we're going to start off with an E minor bar chord, and we're going to do normal pattern for the first bar. On bar 2, we're going to start off with a half note. That'll be a chord lasting for 2 beats, and then we're going to resume our pattern with 16th notes on beats 3 and 4. We're going to switch it to A major on bar 3, normal pattern, and then we're going to have a half note rest on bar 4. That'll be nothing for the first 2 beats of that bar, and then again we'll enter with our 16th notes for beats 3 and 4. Okay, for A major, I'm going to be doing an A major bar chord. For this one, I've got my index finger on the 5th fret 6th string, ring fingers on the 7th fret 5th string, pinkies on the 7th fret 4th string, middles on the 6th fret 3rd string, and then barring to get my 5th frets on the first 2 strings. Okay, now, if your A major bar chord or some of the minis aren't an option, you can always do your open position A major. Okay, here comes number 7. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. 2. Rest. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 8. Now we're going to have an 8-bar progression. We're going to start off with E major normal pattern on bar 1. Bar 2 is going to have a quarter note rest. We won't play anything on beat 1, and then we'll resume our pattern on beat 2. Okay, on bar 3, we're going to move it to C. I'm going to be doing a C major bar chord for this one. So same shape we've been doing, just based off of our 3rd fret now. So basically, wherever our index finger is, that's going to dictate what the root of our chord is. And our 3rd fret is the note C on the 5th string. Okay, now for my C major bar chord, I'm going to have my index on the 3rd fret 5th string. I'm barring to get the 5th frets on my 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, making contact, muting my low string, arching up to mute the 1st string. That's your C major bar chord. You can also do some of the minis or open position C if you like to. Okay, now when we go to bar 6, we're going to go to G. I'm going to be doing a G major bar chord. It's the same shape we did for A, but based off of our 3rd fret. So my index is on the 3rd fret 6th string, ring is on the 5th fret 5th string, pinky's on the 5th fret 4th string, middle's on the 4th fret 3rd string, and then barring to get my 3rd frets on the first 2 strings. And then you could also do your open G major if you like to. Okay, now for bar 6, it's going to be normal pattern, but we're going to have a quarter note rest on beat 3, so we won't play anything for that one beat. Bar 7 will have normal pattern. We're going to switch it to a D minor for bar 7, and for this one I'll be doing a bar chord. And it's the same shape we're doing off of our E minor, but just based off of your 5th fret. So now my index is on the 5th fret 5th string, ring finger's on the 7th fret 4th string, pinky's on the 7th fret 3rd string, middle is on the 6th fret 2nd string, and then I'm barring to get my 5th fret on the 1st string. And then making that contact to mute my low 6th string. And you can also try out some minis or do your open position D minor for this one. Okay, so on that bar 7, it's normal pattern, and then on the last bar, bar 8, we're just going to have 8th notes for the first 2 beats and then a half note rest for the last 2 beats of that bar. Okay, here comes number 8. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a rest. 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 Okay, let's take it to the last one, number 9. We're going to start off with an E minor bar chord. We'll have a half note for the first 2 beats and then 16th notes on beats 3 and 4. On bar 2, we'll have 8th notes for the first 2 beats and then a half note for beats 3 and 4. We're going to have a whole note rest on bar 3, nothing for 4 beats, and then we'll switch it to A minor for that last bar with normal pattern. I'm going to be doing A minor bar chord. For this one, I'm based off of my 5th fret. I've got my index finger, 5th fret 6th string, ring finger is on the 7th fret 5th string, pinky's on the 7th fret 4th string, and then barring to get my 5th frets on the 3 high strings. And then you can also do a mini, or you could do your open A minor if you like there too. Okay, here comes number 9. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 2. 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for this chapter's scales, we're going to talk about the E major scale, the E major pentatonic, the E minor scale, and the E minor pentatonic scale. Okay, for your E major scale, first of all, let's talk about the notes. We're going to have an E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp to E. And your E we're going to target is on your 7th fret on the 5th string, just like where we based our chords for this chapter. Okay, now we're going to start off by just playing some quarter notes right up and down the scale. I want to also point out that I've included some notes that will lead up to this note E. So on your low 6th string, we're going to add 3 notes to get us to the note E, and it's going to be your 7th and 9th fret on the 6th string, and then your 6th fret on the 5th string. Okay, now once we get to our 7th fret, we can go ahead and think of this as our scale starting right on our note E right here. So we're going to go 7 to 9 on your 5th string. Now on your 4th string, we'll go 6, 7, 9. 3rd string, we'll go 6, 8, 9. 2nd string, 7, 9, 10. And then on your 1st string, 7, 9, 11, 12. And want to point out that'll be your 2nd octave E right there. Okay, now coming back down, we'll go 11, 9, 7. On your 2nd string, 10, 9, 7. 3rd string, 9, 8, 6. 4th string, 9, 7, 6. And then on your 5th string, 9 to 7. And again, there will be those 3 lower notes you can incorporate too. Okay, I'm just going to start right on the note E, and I'm going to play quarter notes right up the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. also going to recommend to run some different rhythms on your scales, including the eighth notes, triplets, and 16th notes. So let's go ahead and do some eighth notes. I'm just going to hit each note 2 times, 3 and 4 and. For your eighth note triplets, we'll hit each note 3 times, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And then for your 16th notes, 4 on each note, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, let's talk about the E major pentatonic scale. To make a major pentatonic, we're going to omit the 4th and the 7th note of our scale. So for your E major pentatonic, we're going to be targeting that same E on our 7th fret on the 5th string, but let's lead up with 2 notes on the 6th string. We'll go 7 to 9. Okay, now it takes us to the note E. From here, we're going to go 7 to 9 on your 5th string, 6 to 9 on the 4th string, 6 to 9 on the 3rd string, 7 to 9 on the 2nd string, and then 7, 9, 12 on your 1st string. Coming back down, we'll go 9 to 7 1st string, 9 to 7 2nd string, 9 to 6 3rd string, 9 to 6 4th string, and then 9 to 7 on your 5th string. And I'm just going to be starting right on the note E for this. And then this would be quarter notes, 1 on each note. 3, 4. Recommend work your 8th notes, your triplets, and your 16th notes, and I'm going to bypass that for time for this lesson, but also always work our basic rhythms on all of our scales. Okay, now we're going to talk about a couple sequences for our scales. Going to start off with groups of 3. Now, groups of 3 is a cool way to get inside of a scale. We're just basically going to go up 3 notes, and then we'll backtrack a note and go up 3 notes from there. So starting on your 7th fret, we're going to run all these with our E major scale. We're going to go 7th fret on your 5th string, 7, 9, and then up to your 6th fret on the 4th string. And then we're going to start the next run of 3 notes as we backtrack a note, and we'll go 9th fret on your 5th string, up 3 notes from there, and that'll be your 6th and your 7th fret on the 4th string. And then from here, we'll backtrack a note and go 6, 7, 9 on your 4th string. Backtrack a note, and we'll go 7, 9 on your 4th string up to your 6th fret, 3rd string. Backtrack a note, 9th fret on the 4th string, and then 6, 8 on your 3rd string. And then all on your 3rd string, we'll go 6, 8, 9. Now, if I play that sequence, it's going to be groups of 3 sounding like this. Okay, now you can also take that up 2 octaves, and I recommend that too. This would go up 2 octaves for this one. Okay, now descending your groups of 3, just 1 octave. We're going to start off on the 3rd string, and we'll go 9, 8, 6. On the 3rd string, 8, 6. And then to your 9th fret on the 4th string, back to your 6th fret 3rd string, then 9, 7 on your 4th string, all 4th string, 9, 7, 6, on your 4th string, 7, 6, into the 9th fret 5th string, and then back to your 4th string for the 6th fret, and then 9, 7 on your 5th string. Okay, now here's descending thirds. I'm going to descend the 2 octave scale, all groups of 3. Okay, another cool sequence for scales is thirds. So for this one, what we're going to do is start off on our E, and we're going to jump up a third interval. So we're going to skip the next note, just go right on up. So I'm going to start off on my 7th fret 5th string, jump up to the 6th fret 4th string, and then backtrack to my 9th fret 5th string, jump up a third to my 7th fret 4th string, back down to my 6th fret 4th string, jump up a third to my 9th fret 4th string, come on down to my 7th fret 4th string, jump up a third to my 6th fret 3rd string, back it down to my 9th fret 4th string, jump up a third to my 8th fret 3rd string, back down to my 6th fret 3rd string, jump up a third to my 9th fret 3rd string, back down to my 8th fret 3rd string, and then to conclude it, we'll jump up to the 7th fret 2nd string, and then back down to my note E on my 9th fret 3rd string. Now here's what thirds will sound like. Okay, now I also recommend take your thirds up 2 octaves. This would be 2 octave thirds. Okay, now to descend your thirds for 1 octave, we're going to start off on our 9th fret 3rd string, jump down a third, go to your 6th fret on the 3rd string, come back up to your 8th fret 3rd string, down a third to your 9th fret 4th string, going back up to your 6th fret 3rd string, 7th fret 4th string, 9th fret 4th string, down to your 6th fret 4th string, 7th fret 4th string, 9th fret 5th string, 6th fret 4th string, 7th fret, here's my E on the 5th string, back up to the 9th fret 5th string, and then to end it, we'll go 6th fret 5th string, back to the note E on our 7th fret 5th string. Okay, now here's descending thirds, starting 1 octave. And then here's the 2 octave scale, thirds. Okay, now for an E minor scale, we're going to basically flat the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. So now our notes are going to be an E, F sharp, G natural, A, B, C natural, and a D natural back up to E. Okay, now for your E minor scale, I also want to incorporate a couple notes leading up to the note E. So our E is going to be again on our 7th fret 5th string. Now below that note, we're going to have our 7th, 8th, and 10th fret on our 6th string. That'll lead up to the note E, and then we'll be kind of working our scale from that note E. And our frets are going to be 7, 9, 10 on the 5th string, 7, 9, 10 on the 4th string, 7, 9 on your 3rd string, 7, 8, 10 on your 2nd string, 7, 8, 10, 12 on your 1st string. And there's your 2nd octave E right there. Okay, now coming back down, we'll go 10, 8, 7 on the 1st string, 10, 8, 7 on your 2nd string, 9, 7 on the 3rd string, 10, 9, 7 on your 4th string, and then 10, 9, 7 on your 5th string. Okay, here's that scale up and down. 3, 4. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the E minor pentatonic. For the E minor pentatonic, we're going to omit the 2nd note and also the 6th note. So for this one, starting on my note E, on my 7th fret 5th string, the 2 notes leading into it is going to be a 7 and a 10 on your 6th string. Okay, now here's my note E. We're going to go up from our 7th fret to the 10th fret on the 5th string, 7, 9 on your 4th string, 7, 9 on your 3rd string, 8, 10 on your 2nd string, and then 7, 10, 12 on your 1st string. Now taking it back down, we'll go 10 to 7, 1st string, 10 to 8, 2nd string, 9 to 7, 3rd string, 9 to 7, 4th string, and then 10 to 7, 5th string. Okay, now here's that scale just with quarter notes, one on each note. 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to run those two sequences. We're going to do the groups of 3 and then thirds, and then we'll run our E minor scale for these sequences. Okay, now here's a group of 3. Okay, now I also recommend take your groups of 3 up those 2 octaves. Here we go. Here's descending 1 octave, groups of 3. Now here's 2 octaves, descending groups of 3. Okay, now for thirds, what we're going to do again is jump up a third in the scale and then backtrack a note and then jump up a third from there. So here's thirds with my E minor scale. Okay, now here's 2 octaves. Okay, here's thirds descending 1 octave. And then here's my 2 octave scale descending thirds. Okay, now I also always recommend to jam your chords and jam your scales a little bit, do a little improvisation. So if I just play an E major scale and then jam an E major scale or major pentatonic scale, have fun with it. You can play any rhythms you like, but start to get inside of our scales and our chords and make those connections. So I'll jam a little bit on my E chord. And then jam some scales. Okay, now same concept, jamming on an E minor chord and then playing some E minor scale and some E minor pentatonic. Some chords, some scale. Okay, for this chapter study, we're going to talk about bends. Now, bending is definitely a lot easier on electric guitar. You can also bend on acoustic. Okay, now the scale we'll be using for these first bends will be the A minor pentatonic. So let's go ahead and just play that scale. It's going to be on your 6th string, 5 to 8, 5, 7 on the 5th string, 5, 7 on the 4th string, 5, 7 on the 3rd string, 5, 8, 5, 8 on your 2nd and 1st strings. Okay, now let's get into number 1A. We're going to bend our 7th fret on the 3rd string with our ring finger, and I'm going to recommend have backup supporting fingers on the same string. So when I bend my 7th fret, I'm going to have my middle on the 6th fret and my index is on the 5th fret. All of these are on my 3rd string to help me get that note up. Now you can also bend without support fingers, but I definitely use support fingers and I recommend it because it helps with strength sustain, and if we're going to put vibrato on there too. So these fingers can also squish a little sometimes, but kind of think of it like got support fingers, each one's on a fret behind it. But just so you know, as you start to jam these, you might see your fingers might scoot up a little bit, but the main thing is they're still supporting that bend. Okay, now when we bend, we can also use our thumb on top of the neck to kind of do a counter pressure of bending up, and using my thumb, I'm almost pressing going downward motion. So thumb can also be on the middle of the neck back here, just adding some support. And we can bend that way too. Now some strings can have, we can bend it up towards our head, or we can bend it down towards our feet. So we'll also talk about that, because some strings we're going to need to figure out which way we bend so that we don't slide off of the neck. Okay, so for number one, we're going to do a whole step bend. That means I'm going to raise this note from, it's D right now. I'm going to try to get up to the note E, which is 2 frets ahead of it. So a good way to use your ear is just hit that note E 2 frets up on my 9th fret on the 3rd string, and then I can, and that's a whole step bend. Okay, now I'm gonna probably do these about 4 times each, but I recommend definitely repeat them a bunch. Okay, for number 1B, we're gonna go to our 8th fret on the 2nd string. Again, I'm bending with my ring, and I've got my middle and my index both behind it on that same string, adding some support. Now here's a whole step bend on the 8th fret 2nd string. Okay, let's go to C. We're going to bend our 8th fret on the 1st string, a whole step. Okay, for D, we're going to go to our 4th string on the 5th fret, and we're going to bend this one a whole step. Now this one, I'm going to bend it down towards my feet. It could also be bent up. Okay, let's go to our 5th fret on the 5th string, and I'm going to bend this one definitely down towards my feet so I don't fall off the neck. To hear the destination note, just go up and hit that 7th fret on your 5th string, and you could do gradual bends or just try to get right there. Okay, now for the last one, number 1F, we're going to bend our 5th fret on the low 6th string 1.5. Okay, now if I go up to my 8th fret, that's going to be my destination note. Okay, now let's take it to number 2. For number 2, we're going to start to incorporate bends and then hitting a note that's regular, not bent note too. And we're going to start to make some phrases and some licks. So for number 2, I'm going to bend my 7th fret again on the 3rd string, a whole step. Then I'm going to hit my 5th fret, which is the same note we're bending to, the note E, but just playing it normal. 5th fret, 2nd string, and then back to a whole step bend on my 7th fret 3rd string. So this lick will sound like this. Okay, let's take it to number 2B. Now we're going to do a bend and a release. So I'm going to bend that same 7th fret 3rd string and then bring it back down to where I started. And that's a bend and a release. Okay, for number C, we're going to do a bend release on our 7th fret 3rd string into a pull off from our 7th fret to our 5th fret. So I'm going to have my index finger ready. It's already doing support. Okay, let's take it to D. Now we're going to bend the 8th fret on the 2nd string, and then I'm going to hit normal 5th fret on the 1st string, and then I'll just go back to normal 8th fret on the 2nd string. do that same bend, 8th fret, 2nd string, hit our normal 5th fret on the 1st string, and then to a pull off, 8th to 5th fret on the 2nd string. Okay, for F, we're gonna do a 8th fret bend release on the 2nd string into a slide from our 5th to our 8th fret. So when I finish this lick, I'm gonna slide up from my 7th to my 8th fret on the 2nd fret. Okay, here's F. Okay, let's take it to 3. I'm gonna bend my 8th fret on the 1st string, and release it, and then just hit my 5th fret normal, all on the 1st string. Okay, for B, we're gonna do 5th to 8th fret normal, and then we'll bend 2 times whole steps on the 8th fret. Okay, here we go. Okay, now for C, we're gonna do a pull off 8 to 5 on the 1st string, and then we'll do a bend release on our 8th fret, all on the 1st string. For D, we're gonna hit normal 5th fret 1st string, 8 to 5 normal on our 2nd fret, and then we'll do a bend on our 7th fret 3rd string. Okay, for E, we're gonna do a hammer-on pull-off 5-8-5 on our 2nd string into a bend release 8th fret 1st string. Okay, let's take it to F. We're gonna do a bend on the 8th fret 2nd string, normal 5th fret on the 1st string, into a bend release 8th fret on the 2nd string, and then normal 5th fret 2nd string. Okay, for number 4, we're going to go into some A major pentatonic bends. So for this scale, we're going to go 5 to 7 on the 6th string, 4 to 7 on the 5th string, 4 to 7 on the 4th string, 4 to 6 on the 3rd string, 5 to 7 on the 2nd string, and then 5 to 7 on your 1st string. Okay, for number 4A, we're going to bend our 6th fret on the 3rd string just a half step. So for this one, here's my 6th fret 4th string. I'm just going to want to go up a half step to hear my destination note, and it's a smaller bend. I still have my 2 support fingers behind it on the same string. Okay, for B, we're going to bend back up, and we're going to bend our 4th fret up a full step. So I'm just going to scoot down, still using my ring finger. My ring finger is definitely probably my preferred finger to bend. You can also experiment bending with your pinky. Middle finger also can do some nice bends, as can the index too, but usually my go-to is going to be my ring finger with a couple support fingers. Okay, now here's 4th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, for C, we're going to bend our 5th fret on the 2nd string a full step. Okay, for D, we're going to bend our 5th fret on the 1st string. Okay, we're going to, for E, we're going to bend our 7th fret on the 4th string full step. For F, we'll bend our 7th fret on the 5th string. chord. And then for the last one, we'll bend our 5th fret again a whole step on the 6th string. Okay, let's take it over to number 5 and we'll start to do some phrases. Okay, for 5A, we're gonna bend a half step on our 6th fret 3rd string, release it, and then a normal 4th fret all on our 3rd string. Okay, for B, we're gonna bend our 4th fret on the 3rd string and we'll do a release. Okay, for C, gonna bend my 6th fret on the 3rd string a half step, bend it again and release it. Okay, for D, we're gonna bend a step and a half on our 7th fret 2nd string into a normal 7th fret. Okay, now to hear my goal note, if I go up to my 10th fret, that's a step and a half right there. So I'm going up 3 frets. Let's see if we can bend it. Okay, back into your 5th fret on the 2nd string. We're gonna do a bend, release, and then normal 5th fret on the 1st string. Okay, for F, we're gonna do a bend, 5th fret, 2nd string, bend it again, and then we'll do a bend and release. Okay, for number 6, we're gonna do a bend, release on our 7th fret 1st string, and then we'll pull it off to our 5th fret all on the 1st string. Okay, for B, we're gonna do a bend 2 times on our 7th fret 1st string, and then we're gonna slide from our 7th to our 9th fret, all on the 1st string. Okay, for C, we're gonna do a pull off from 7 to 5 on the 1st string, and then a bend release on our 7th fret, all on the 1st string. For D, we're going to do a hammer-on from 5 to 7 on the 2nd string into 5 normal on the 1st string to a bend on the 7th fret on the 1st string. Okay, for E, we're going to do a pull-off from 7 to 5 on the 1st string into a hammer-on from 5 to 7 on the 2nd string, and then we're going to bend our 5th fret on the 2nd string. And I'm going to go down after my hammer-on, back to my ring for that bendy right there. Okay, here is E. Okay, now for F, we're going to start off with a full step bend on our 4th fret 3rd string, into a hammer-on 5 to 7 on the 2nd string, into normal 5th fret on the 1st string. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you for chapter 6. Take care.